On this week's edition of The Overtime, we'll recap the NAU men's basketball team's win over the number 1 ranked team in the Big Sky Conference. Then how the Tetra skis are enriching lives for people with disabilities around Flagstaff. And lastly, on Get Out There, we're exploring Wilson Canyon. All that and more on this edition of The Overtime. Hello and welcome to The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Lydia Schwieters, and today I am joined by my co-host, Hannah Hamilton. How are you today, Hannah?
I'm excited to be here. Let's get started.
The Northern Arizona Lumberjacks men's basketball team faced off against the number 1 team in the Big Sky Conference, the Eastern Washington Eagles. This was a crucial game as the Lumberjacks are seeking a 6th seed or higher to earn a bye in the first round of the Big Sky tournament coming up in Boise. Last week, the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks played the Big Sky Conference leader Eastern Washington Eagles. Through most of the game, it was neck and neck, with NAU down 71-64 with 4 minutes left. But NAU ultimately came out with a win of 78-71. Coach Shane Burcar said that this was one of the most important regular season games he's coached in his 5 seasons at NAU, and what this win meant for the team at this point in the season.
It's late in the season. A lot on the line. Like, you lose tonight, and you lose all the tiebreakers with the other teams. I know Montana State has beat them. So I honestly, if I sat down after a while, I would still say this is the most important one.
Player of the game forward Carson Basham posted 21 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 blocks, which tied the NAU record for most blocks in a single game, which was previously set by him earlier in the year. Basham said Burcar's coaching and strategies allowed for him to successfully defend against the Eagles.
Coaches put us in a great position tonight. We had a lot of different concepts, and we were trying a lot of different things, and it was just working. I was able to rotate. I was able to switch and get on guys that usually would have the advantage, but I took it away from them and blocked it at the rim.
Tomorrow, the boys will be on the road at Weber State and have their final home game Monday, March 4th, against University of Northern Colorado Bears. Lydia Schwieters, NAZ Sports. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season plays out. The Big Sky tournament is just a week and a half away. Now let's check in with Tyler Murphy, who went up to Snow Bowl this weekend.
Thanks, Lydia. Yes, last week I went up the mountain with our NAZ Today Assistant Sports Director, Ashley Henchy, where one piece of new technology is revolutionizing the slopes.
Tyler Murphy from NAZ Today here at the Arizona Snow Bowl, where High Country Adaptive Sports is making the outdoors accessible through the Tetra Ski.
High Country Adaptive Sports partnered with Tetra Ski alongside the University of Utah for their 2nd annual Tetra Ski Express qualifying race. The race is for athletes with complex disabilities due to injury or illness and made possible because of the Tetra Ski.
Start being tethered to this device, and then eventually you develop more independence so that you can use it on your own. And so what this device does for folks like those who are racing today is it gives them the opportunity to learn how to ski by themselves if they want to, where they want to, when they want to.
High Country Adaptive Sports brought Kimberly Kolstad to the mountain 3 years ago. Last year, she won the national championship in Tetra skiing in Utah.
With High Country Adaptive Sports, they took me up on the Tetra ski for the first time ever, and I was able to experience freedom that I've never experienced before, and I have been hooked ever since.
Flagstaff resident and business owner John Conley's son has Down syndrome, and with the help of High Country Adaptive Sports, he learned how to snowboard.
They just have such an amazing impact on people that are ambulatory, non-ambulatory. And what I also love about them is that it's year-round sports. The idea of High Country Adaptive Sports is to get people outside, make the forest accessible, make the ski slopes accessible, and include everybody in everything.
And for anyone who hasn't tried it yet and doesn't know whether or not to, Kolstad has an answer for you.
Go out and try it scared, and just do it, and your life will be changed, because it's a life-changing experience. It really is. The feeling of sliding on the snow and that freedom that you get, you can't get that in a wheelchair. You just can't.
Tyler Murphy, NAZ Today. High Country Adaptive Sports is available to participants not only during the winter, but year-round, making the outdoors accessible for everyone. You can find more about their mission statement and donation opportunities at highcountryadaptive.org. Back to you guys at the desk.
This past week, I got the chance to watch Flag High girls basketball advance to yet another round in the 4A state tournament after they beat Flowing Wells 66-42. This past weekend, Flagstaff girls basketball beat Flowing Wells in the 4A state quarterfinals 66-42. Earlier that week, they faced Prescott and won 77-45. Despite winning big in the first 2 rounds, the Eagles say they can still make improvements, especially knowing the rest of their season will be on the road.
I think what we can improve on is running our offense and knowing if they're playing us a certain way because they know what we're running, that we'll be able to adjust to it, and then we can make different options and still be able to score efficiently.
Well, we want to be able to execute offense a little bit better. Depending on who we're playing, we have to be able to execute better. We have to be more efficient. And then our transition, we got to get out and run, advance the basketball, and be selfless and, pass up something good for something great.
Perhaps what stood out the most about this game was how many people made time to come out and support the Eagles, especially the seniors as they played in their final home game.
I think everything went well. Our defense, our offense, we executed. Our bench was really loud, and I like that. It's the energy, and the defense created offense, so we got them steals and those fast breaks, which helped us a lot.
Last year, Flagstaff won the championship, so to still be playing at this time of year is nothing new for the Eagles.
At this time of year, it's always special because this is the time of year that if you lose, you're done. And so the fact that we get to play next week means that there's more season left, and so it's always special.
Hannah Hamilton, NAZ Sports.
What a great game. Seems like there was a lot of fans in the crowd.
Absolutely. It was so awesome to see so many people from the community come out to support the team. We're going to head to break, but when we're back, we'll check out our Get Out There segment.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the
pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. I'm Erica Kastner, and last week, the Sports and Adventure Media Program took a good old-fashioned field trip down to Sedona to explore Wilson Canyon Lake. On this week's edition of Get Out There, I am in the beautiful Red Rocks of Sedona exploring Wilson Canyon. Located 40 minutes south of Flagstaff, Wilson Canyon Trail provides you with a clear view of Wilson Mountain, the tallest mountain in the Sedona area. Starting at the Midgley Bridge, this 1.5 mile long hike takes you on the south side of Wilson Mountain, taking you through the old road from Sedona to Flagstaff, then through the beautiful Red Rocks. The old road was used until the Midgley Bridge was built in 1939. The recommended season for this hike is from April to November. This can be done as an out-and-back trail in Wilson Canyon, or you can make it a loop hike by incorporating the Wilson Mountain Trail on the ridge above, which has connecting trails near the parking lot and about halfway up Wilson Canyon. One can experience a light to medium intensity hike on this trail. If you're up for a little more hiking, you can take a small side trail down to the beautiful Oak Creek. Erica Kastner, NAZ Sports. We had a blast exploring the Red Rocks last Friday. Stay with us after the break for a recap on Flagstaff High School soccer.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help.
You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
In a heartbreaking loss last week, Flagstaff boys soccer season came to an end after losing to South Point Catholic. This past week, Flagstaff boys soccer season came to a devastating end after losing to South Point Catholic in the 4A state semifinals and penalty kicks 0-1. At the end of regular time, the two teams were tied 1-1 and the match went to penalty kicks with the Lancers winning 1-0. Prior to this game, the top-seeded Eagles won their first two state matches, shutting out Pueblo and Bradshaw Mountain. The Eagles' only goal scorer during regular time was senior Daniel Castrita when he headed the ball into the corner of the net off a corner kick. Halfway through penalty kicks, senior goalkeeper Jonathan Montalongo Longoria injured his leg and had to come out and watch the rest from the sidelines.
It's pretty heartbreaking. I don't like to show a lot of emotion, but it got to me at the end once we all started hanging out as a group. But it was really sad, especially because I had faith in our other scorer to score, but then I go in to see him hit the crossbar. So it was devastating to see, and then I was just laying there hopelessly, so it was devastating to watch.
Jonathan and the rest of his teammates were forced to watch as South Point's goalkeeper stopped the final penalty kick and got to celebrate with his teammates as the Eagles and their coaches looked on.
What we did is we put in the work every day after practice, gave 110% in every game. We played our hearts every game, and we had such a good season.
I mean, this is a great group of boys, right? And they proved it to a team that's, won state, I think, last 5 years in a row or 4 years in a row, that we took them all the way to the end, right? And then in the PK. So this is a resilient group. They're a great group of kids to be around. And, yeah, they just work hard, and they're great soccer players.
Hannah Hamilton, NAZ Sports. It was so heartbreaking to see Jonathan's season end that way. The crowd went silent when he was down. Also to note, the Flagstaff girls soccer team also ended their season after falling 3-0 to South Point Catholic in the state semifinals. Flagstaff was the #1 seed and the only team to finish with a perfect 12-0 record in the regular season. The Eagles have fallen to the Lancers in back-to-back semifinal games.
What a bummer for the Eagles. On the bright side, the Eagles girls basketball team, who are the reigning state champs, are still fighting their way through the 4A state tournament. At the time of recording, the Eagles are in the Valley facing the Mesquite Wildcats. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m.
Best of luck to the Eagles. That's all we have for you tonight. Thank you all for joining us on this edition of The Overtime.
I want to thank our sports reporters, Erica Kastner and Tyler Murphy, and I'd also like to thank my co-host, Hannah Hamilton. I'm Lydia Schwieters, and we will see you next Tuesday for this next edition of The Overtime.